There are loves that come from other lives, and yet they do not always arrive in this one when we want them to. If you've walked with us through the last journey, where we explored the signs and soul memories that reveal when a love is ancient, then you already know. Recognizing a twin flame is only the beginning. Now, we ask a deeper question. Are we truly ready for such a love? Spiritual love, especially the kind that transcends time and space, does not operate by the rules of the ego. It does not bow to urgency or convenience. It waits, it watches, it prepares both souls patiently, in silence. Sometimes, you may feel the presence of this love long before it actually enters your life. A certain longing, a certain emptiness that nothing else seems to fill. And while the mind tries to understand, the heart already knows something is coming. But it's not yet time. This is the sacred pause between recognition and reunion. It is not a delay, but a divine preparation. Because this love is not just about two people coming together. It's about what they will become when they do. Many believe the spiritual connection with a twin flame should immediately lead to union. But often, the souls must walk separate paths for a while. Not because they are being punished, not because something is wrong, but because there are parts of themselves they still need to remember, release, or rebuild. The soul knows when it is ready, and the universe listens to that quiet knowing. This journey is not about waiting passively for someone to appear. It is about actively becoming the person who can hold a love so powerful, so luminous, that it transforms not only your own life, but the world around you. So today, we begin a new path, one that speaks not of searching for someone outside of us, but of preparing the inner temple. Because sometimes the greatest act of love is to honor the time it takes to become who you were always meant to be. So when the love arrives, you are not only ready to receive it, but to live it fully. This is the journey of becoming ready, and this is where it begins. There is a silent truth that often goes unspoken. Love, especially the kind that transcends lifetimes, does not arrive into a heart that is still at war with itself. Before the sacred meeting with a twin flame can happen, the soul begins a quieter, more personal journey, one of healing. We all carry emotional scars. Some were formed in childhood, others through broken relationships, betrayals, or moments when we felt unseen and unheard. These wounds, though invisible to the eye, shape the way we love, the way we trust, and the way we see ourselves. And if left unattended, they become walls that block the very love we seek. The reunion with a twin flame is not just a meeting between two people. It is a meeting between two souls that mirror each other so intensely, so truthfully, that anything unhealed will rise to the surface. That is why the universe, in its perfect wisdom, often delays this encounter not as punishment, but as preparation. Healing is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming honest. It begins when we dare to look at our own pain with tenderness instead of fear. When we stop running from our past and instead start listening to what it is trying to teach us. The grief we've buried, the anger we've ignored, the shame we've carried for far too long, all of it holds keys to our transformation. In this phase of the journey, solitude becomes sacred. It is within silence that the heart starts to remember who it truly is, beyond expectations, beyond disappointments. Old patterns begin to dissolve. We learn to set boundaries not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. We begin to forgive not to erase the pain, but to free ourselves from carrying it any longer. And then something beautiful happens. As we heal, we begin to recognize our own worth. We stop begging for crumbs and start demanding truth. We become more sensitive to energy, to honesty, to the quiet knowing that says, "This is right for me," or This still hurts and needs more care. We start loving ourselves in a way that makes us magnetic to the kind of love that mirrors our growth. This healing is not linear. Some days will feel like progress, others like setbacks. But every tear shed, every truth faced, every layer released brings us closer not just to our twin flame, but to the most important union of all, the one within. Because when two souls meet from a place of wholeness, their love becomes something greater than romance. It becomes a light, a mission, a force of transformation not just for each other, but for the world around them. So if the path seems lonely now, if the healing feels endless, remember this: you are not being delayed, you are being refined. And when the time comes, your soul will meet the one it has always known, not in desperation, but in truth, not in pain, but in purpose. There is a doorway the soul must walk through before it can truly meet its other half. It is not a gate built by time, distance, or fate. It is an inner passage, carved slowly by acceptance, gentleness, and truth. That doorway is self-love. Many seek their twin flame, hoping it will complete them, fill the voids, or heal the wounds they've carried. But the spiritual reality is this: no soul can give you what you deny yourself. No union can flourish if the roots of your self-worth are still brittle, still unsure, still conditional. Self-love is not a concept. It is a sacred practice. It is in the way you speak to yourself in silence, in how you tend to your pain with compassion instead of judgment. It is found in the small, quiet choices when you rest instead of push, when you walk away from what dishonors you, when you allow yourself to feel without shame. Before the reunion with a twin flame, the soul often goes through a period of inner alchemy. It is during this time that the illusion of unworthiness dissolves. Old stories echo in the mind, stories of not being enough, of needing to prove value to be loved, but slowly you begin to question them. And then something changes. Instead of looking outside for validation, you begin to witness your own light. Loving yourself is not selfish. It is sacred preparation. Because the twin flame journey is not about losing yourself in another, it's about finding yourself so completely that you can stand as an equal, whole, and awake in front of the one your soul has always known. Without self-love, the connection can feel like chaos, intense, confusing, unstable. Because the mirror your twin flame holds up will reflect both your beauty and your shadows. If you haven't built a safe place within yourself, the mirror can feel unbearable. But with self-love, the mirror becomes a blessing. It shows you where you've grown, where you still need tenderness, and where the two of you are meant to rise together. This kind of love, the divine, transformative kind, is not built on dependency. It's built on resonance. It is the meeting of two souls who have learned to hold space for their own hearts first. And from that place, they create something sacred together, not to complete each other, but to expand what love means in this world. So if you are on the path, still waiting, still preparing, know this: the more you return to yourself, the more the universe aligns the path for love to arrive. Love yourself in the ways you wish to be loved. Speak to yourself with the kindness you long to receive. Honor your path, your voice, your healing. Because when you do, you don't just open the door for your twin flame to enter. You become the door. You become the sanctuary where divine love is not just found, but remembered. Sometimes, long before the eyes meet or the paths cross, the soul begins to whisper. There is a quiet knowing that rises within, one that logic cannot explain and the mind cannot fully grasp. It comes in waves, a sense of anticipation without an object, a longing that doesn't hurt, but hums. you begin to feel that something is shifting, that someone, somewhere, is also preparing for you. These are the inner callings, the intuitive signs that the reunion with your twin flame is not far. And while the outer world may still appear unchanged, inside, the soul is already awakening to the approach of something sacred. Perhaps you begin to dream of someone whose face is familiar but unknown. Perhaps you feel sudden waves of emotion, love, grief, courage, as if they are not entirely yours. You may be drawn to places, music, books, or practices that weren't part of your life before, yet feel deeply significant. All of this is the soul remembering. The universe does not shout when it wants your attention. It whispers in signs, nudges, and synchronicities. Numbers like 1111 or 222 appear more frequently. A song plays that feels like a message. A random encounter leads to a spiritual conversation that shakes something awake in you. These are not coincidences. They are echoes. Clues from the divine that you are moving into alignment. Your heart might also begin to feel more centered, more ready. There's a softening, a release of old attachments and expectations. You start to trust more. You no longer feel the urgency to search for someone because deep down you feel the presence already. It's as if the soul is saying, "You're almost there, keep walking." Often, right before the meeting, there's a final purge, a deep clearing of what no longer serves you. Old fears may rise, past wounds may surface. But instead of resisting, you now see them as necessary steps in your preparation. You are no longer the seeker begging for love. You are becoming the space where love can arrive. And when the time is right, the external world will catch up to what the inner world has already begun. The two of you will meet not by chance, but by divine timing, and it will feel like remembering, not discovering. So if your soul has been speaking, listen. If you've felt the invisible pull, follow it. If your heart is stirring for no apparent reason, honor that. These are not fantasies, they are messages. The veil between you and your twin is thinning, and love, the kind that was written long before you were born, is finding its way back to you. Because no soul ever truly forgets its counterpart. And when the time comes, everything inside you will know the reunion is near. When two twin flames find each other again, it is never just about falling in love. It is about rising into purpose. There is a divine intention behind this meeting, one that goes far beyond personal happiness or the fulfillment of romantic dreams. This connection is sacred, not only because of its emotional depth, but because of what it awakens in both souls. It is a remembering, a realignment, a calling back to the reason they chose to return to Earth in this lifetime. Twin flames often carry complementary energies, like two halves of a whole blueprint. One may bring clarity, the other, compassion. One may carry the voice of truth, the other, the heart of healing. Together, they become a force. Not just for each other, but for the world. This mission may not look the same for every pair. Some are called to teach, others to create. Some will serve in silence, holding space for transformation through their presence alone. Others will step into the public eye, igniting change in communities or movements. But the essence is always the same. Their union is meant to amplify light. In the beginning, this mission may not be clear. It often begins subtly, a shared desire to contribute, to heal, to help. There is a growing sense that your love was never meant to remain behind closed doors. It was born to flow outward, to inspire, to awaken something in others. Even your struggles, your separations, your personal healing journeys, they all become part of this greater purpose. That is why twin flame relationships often come with intensity, challenges, and deep spiritual growth. Because to carry the mission, Both souls must first become whole within themselves. They are not here to complete each other, but to complement and reflect each other's divinity. Their love is not rooted in possession, but in expansion. And as each one steps deeper into their authentic self, the path begins to open. The mission reveals itself not in a flash, but in steps, one inspiration at a time, one person touched, one seed planted, and soon they realize that their love is not just a feeling, it's a frequency that heals. Together, they become more than partners. They become co-creators, soul allies, mirrors of what is possible when love and consciousness walk hand in hand. So if you've ever felt that your love story is meant for something greater, trust that feeling. You didn't come here just to find each other. You came to build something that could only be built together, a legacy of light, seated in love, and destined to grow far beyond the two of you. Love is the most natural thing in the soul, and yet, when it arrives in its truest, most transformative form, the ego trembles. It's a paradox we all carry. We long to be seen, held, and known, but we fear the very intimacy that makes this possible. Especially when it comes to a twin flame connection where the love is not surface level, but soul deep, something ancient awakens. And with it, fears hidden for lifetimes. The ego, designed to protect, begins to resist. It whispers doubts. It builds walls. It rewrites stories. Will I lose myself in this? Can I trust something so intense? What if I am not enough? What if I get hurt again? These aren't just modern questions. They are echoes of unresolved pasts, memories from other lifetimes, heartbreak stored in the energetic body, lessons from family patterns. The twin flame love has a way of shining light on all of it. It brings out the best and also everything that still needs healing. That's why so many twin flames experience fear when they finally meet. There is a strange urge to run, to sabotage, or to dismiss the connection as fantasy. But beneath all of it, the fear is not of the other person, it is of the power of love itself. True love demands vulnerability. It asks us to soften our armor, to release the roles we've hidden behind, and to show up as we really are, raw, unpolished, human. The ego fears this exposure. It prefers control over surrender. But the soul knows. Love is not here to destroy you. It's here to dissolve what is false. Facing these invisible resistances is part of the preparation. It takes courage to recognize when fear is leading the way, and even more courage to choose love anyway. To sit with the discomfort, to question the stories we've carried, to forgive where we still hold pain. This is the inner work of reuniting not only with the other, but with our truest self. Because ultimately, the ego cannot survive in the presence of divine love. It must evolve. It must loosen its grip. And as it does, a greater peace takes its place, not because fear disappears, but because love becomes stronger than fear. So if you find yourself afraid, doubting, or resisting, know this. It doesn't mean you're not ready. It means you're being invited to grow. Love is knocking at the door not to break you, but to awaken you. And the part of you that resists is often the part most in need of being loved. Let it be seen, let it soften, and let love, the deepest, truest kind, begin to lead. We live in a world of clocks and calendars, deadlines and expectations. We are taught that waiting is wasted time, that faster is better, and results must be immediate. But the soul does not move by the ticking of a clock. It flows according to something far more sacred, divine timing. When it comes to soul connections, especially the profound bond of twin flames, timing is everything. Not because the love isn't real now, but because the heart and spirit must be ready to hold what this love brings. Just as a flower doesn't bloom before its season, spiritual love unfolds when the soul has reached a certain readiness. No earlier, no later. Sometimes we meet someone and feel an instant knowing, a recognition, a homecoming, but life seems to say, not yet. One of you may still be healing, the other may be learning to stand on their own. There may be karmic cycles to close, lessons to embody, or emotional roots to deepen, and so the connection pauses not to punish, but to prepare. It's in these moments of delay that the ego struggles most. It wants control, answers, reassurance. It begs, why not now? But the soul answers differently. Trust. Divine timing doesn't operate from fear or urgency. It moves with perfect wisdom, aligning hearts and paths in the moment that will serve the highest good. This doesn't mean being passive. It means being present. It means using the waiting not as suffering but as sacred preparation. Every moment apart can be a moment of deepening into self-love, inner peace, spiritual clarity. You're not being kept away from love. You're being shaped to become love. There's a grace in surrendering to this rhythm. It brings peace to the restless heart. It reminds us that what is meant for us cannot be lost, only delayed until we're truly ready to receive it. And when that moment comes, there will be no forcing, no confusion, no resistance, just a quiet, powerful alignment. Trusting divine timing is one of the greatest acts of faith. It says, I don't need to control this. I believe in a love greater than time. And that kind of faith, it moves worlds. It softens the weight. It opens the door for miracles. So if you feel like things are taking too long, breathe. Your soul knows the way. Destiny is not late. It's preparing you for something that will be worth every second of waiting. Let go of the rush. Love always arrives on time, sacred, complete, and right on schedule. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when we stop chasing and start becoming. When we no longer seek love outside of ourselves as something to complete us, but recognize it as something that begins within. This is the moment the heart aligns with the soul's deeper knowing. This is the moment when true love becomes possible. Because love real, sacred love is not something we catch like a passing train. It is something we grow into. Something we prepare for with each breath of self-awareness, with every act of courage to heal, with each choice to open instead of close. It's not that love was absent before, it's that we were not yet open enough to hold it fully. All along, love has been waiting, not outside the door, but within, quietly, patiently, like a candle in a dark room. It does not demand or rush. It simply waits for us to become a home that it can safely dwell in. The more we choose to live in truth, to walk with integrity, to soften where life has hardened us, the more we invite that love in. There is no coincidence in timing when it comes to soul-level love. The moment of union, whether in the physical or spiritual, arrives when the two hearts have done enough inner work to mirror each other's light, not just their wounds. When they are no longer running from their shadows, but meeting them with compassion. When both have chosen to love themselves enough that their love for each other can flow freely, without conditions or fear. It's easy to think that love is about finding the right person, but more often, it is about becoming the right presence, one that love can recognize, rise toward, and root itself in. And when both souls reach that place of readiness, the connection happens not with drama, but with deep peace, as if the universe finally exhales and whispers, now. So if you've been walking the path of preparation, healing, growing, forgiving, listening to your soul, know this. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are right where you need to be. Love is not a destination you chase. It's a home that is built within you, and one day, someone else will arrive with the same key. When we are truly ready, not perfect, but present, open, and real love meets us there. And it doesn't just knock, it walks in and stays. Because readiness is the real invitation. And when we are ready, love is too. Did this message speak to your soul? If so, like this video, share it with someone walking a similar path, and subscribe to the channel for more content about soulmates, spiritual growth, and divine love. Tap the bell so the universe knows you're ready for the next sign. The next message might be just what your heart has been waiting for. Share in the comments. Do you feel that your soul is preparing for a sacred reunion?